Hey guys, gonna make another Warframe guide here. This is for Mag. Um, for a very long time, I really didn't like Mag. I thought she was gonna be too energy inefficient and that her base abilities don't do enough damage for her to really be viable. But oh man, was I wrong. I actually had a friend start playing Warframe the other day, and she picked Mag as her starter, and I was like, oh geez, like, you're not going to be able to do anything, especially without, like, a ton of mods to lower the, like, energy costs and that kind of thing. But I'm here making this guide now because I am now convinced that Mag is amazing, and she's actually one of my favorites now. Kind of like Cora, she's one that you need to base almost all of your equipment decisions around the fact that you're playing Mag. So I'm going to start with the Warframe build. Now, this is going to be based around primarily magnetize, which is her 2. So rifle lamp, because you're going to want weapon damage. And you don't need strength that badly, but you definitely don't want it in the negative. You want some range so that those bubbles are nice and big. You want efficiency so that you can spam it, though honestly, I think you could compromise some on the efficiency aspect. And then you want duration, because you want those bubbles to stay up a reasonable amount of time. Now, you don't need to go crazy with the duration. You just want it to, again, not get very negative, kind of like strength, because the assumption is you're not going to just put one bubble up and then just leave it there nigh indefinitely. But you will want it to be around for at least a bit. Mine lasts about 15 seconds. It's about enough. I'd like a little bit more, but I'll look into that later. Really, I should just power up this continuity here, but I don't want to mess up all my other builds. So, yeah, here's just an example build, but you don't really need to go too crazy with it. Honestly, you probably don't even necessarily need fleeting expertise. Like, this could be done with pretty common mods for the most part. You don't really have to worry about health or armor because they're going to be terrible anyway, so you just want to put everything into your shield, and there's some other mods I have on other things to help with that. But one important thing is you want to use this auger set here, because you're going to be using abilities a lot. And since Mag is pretty much all shield as far as survivability, I'm using this 120% of energy spent on abilities is converted into shields. And you can use those. I just use these 2 because they're for stats I actually need. And that's going to be huge because you're going to be dumping a ton of energy. So the idea is you pick something, you magnetize it, and as you can see in the brief video they have, you shoot into the bubble, and that hurts the thing and anything else that comes in contact with the bubble. Now you can see down here, pretty much everything's green here. The drain is only 20 energy, so that's really not a lot. And you will be making energy back so fast it won't really even matter that much. The explosion damage doesn't matter. The radius matters a bit, but it doesn't have to be huge so long as it's well placed. And the damage multiplier, 2.6, that's fine. Honestly, you'll, like, if you have a good enough weapon, you won't really need that multiplier. And the other one is this pull. Now, you can pull things from very far away. And what's important here is, one, just that you can move things towards you, and also that you have this 32% drop chance. That increases your chance of getting back more energy, and that's very important. Like, that's what lets you do this sustainably. So the idea is you find an enemy in a semi-strategic place, you make the bubble, you stand opposite of the bubble from the rest of the enemies, and then you pull them all in, and they all die instantly. Now, you don't have to use a particular like weapon, like I'm using Boar because I have a nice ribbon for it. But any shotgun or something with a lot of pellets will do great. I haven't looked into whether the status chance is preserved with the projectiles that you fire into there, but just get a nice shotgun that you can just fire away with, and you'll want a decent amount of base damage going into there. I use a Piranha as my pistol because it's also kind of shotgun-like, and that way if I run out of ammo for my main, or if I have to carry an item for like a mobile defense or an excavation, I can still put a bunch of pellets into a spear. And since you don't really use melee much with this build, I use Silva and Aegis for that 90% damage block, because damage block is now passive, so you don't even have to have it out, so I pretty much just use that for additional survival. Now, the other thing is, since you're all shield, I use Carrier with the shield charger, and honestly, the main reason I'm using Carrier at all is because that ribbon that I'm using on Boar makes me run out of ammo very quickly, so I just want to be able to keep that ammo up indefinitely. And that's pretty much the build. So I'm gonna go sort of go through the play style of it. What's really nice about this build is that, you know, you can start off with mag, and honestly, it's pretty easy to oh no, it's the other pack. Just gonna go to Hydron real quick. She's really easy to build. Like, you don't really need that exotic of mods to pull it off. Because usually most builds you'll need like a ton of like the Dragon Key mods, and you know, just like those like really rare like mods you can't really get till end game. And if you don't feel like grinding them at end game, then like you're gonna have to pay a ton of platinum to get them. But no, this is a very, very budget build. So we'll just find where things are spawning. I could be smart and just wait for them to come to me. Okay, because you'll want to find where like a bunch of enemies are gonna walk at once. Okay, I guess this is gonna have to be good enough. So I'll put this in the spear, put a bunch of bullets in that spear, pull, everything dies immediately. And after you've done that, you can just walk away, make another one, fill it up, walk away, and things are still dying on the other side. Now, the way I have this built, it only lasts 15 seconds, and I do that because I'm kind of perfectionist and I don't always get things right the first time as far as placement. And in something like a mobile defense, you want to leave yourself somewhat flexible on position. Like, you don't want to run it like a complete stationary. The problem here is that there's just not enough spawning for this game. Okay. So, for 15 seconds, I don't have to worry about anything coming out of it. And that is also not happening. And this isn't the best place for this strategy, but it's about just covering an entire like spawn direction of the enemies and then just not having to worry about it for a minute. Not literally a minute, but you can just kind of ignore it for a second. And pretty much just anything that even comes close to touching that just dies. Now, normally I am totally the energy restore spammer type, but you'll notice that I am using abilities like crazy often, and enough energy is just dropping, but I don't really have to worry about it. So that's what I was saying, where I was wrong about her being too energy inefficient. So I was thinking, you're going to have to use these abilities like constantly. And so this is just the general idea. Is you set up these bubbles, you get a big ass shotgun, shoot into it a few times, and that's it. You know, just because I'm a completionist like that, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off till wave 5 at least. As far as other people she pairs well with, I was gonna say she'd pair well with the Vampire Trinity if you could coordinate to get Trinity to put the energy drain on the same enemy that you make the bubble around, because that way it's preserved, and so you're just getting constant energy out of it. But honestly, it just seems kind of overkill, because you'll notice that I am now at the moment, because there aren't many enemies since I'm soloing this, slowly net gaining in energy, and that's even with me doing this like pretty heavily. But in a like, if there were 4 people here and the spawn rates were a lot higher, I would be at full energy and stay at full energy. Now, you don't. Now it says in the description that her 4 powers up these bubbles. It does, but even at, I think I pushed it to like 250 strength, it still only did like 3,000 damage, I think. So, you know, early on, that's like, whoa, that would like one-shot everything. But if you're doing anything past like level 50, that is a negligible amount of damage. And instead, you can focus on this, and you know, several shots from the shotgun into there is more than enough damage to deal with entire packs of enemies. And so it's typically better to just be energy efficient. And also, if you want to DPS race people, which, let's be real, most of us do, then you will usually come out ahead just doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Just keep bubbles up places and fire a few shotgun shots into them, forget about it. And if you happen to see things that are kind of near the bubble but not quite in it, or would not normally walk into its path, and you can pull them over, and that'll do it. Aw, I'm out of energy. Now, I know I was just talking, like, all this game about how she's not that, like, energy inefficient, and then I just used it at the Squawker store. One, I've been using these bubbles a lot more than I've had to. 2, I haven't been very good about pulling over here. And also, the more enemies, the more energy efficient you become, because those drop chances are going to increase, of course, when you have a lot more enemies.
Or continue fighting.
So that's pretty much it. That's Mag. In a better defense map, where there's maybe like the one on Sedna or Eris, I always get them mixed up. The infested one, where there's just like those 3 entrances, you can just put one of those bubbles on each and then just sit there AFK, well, for 15 seconds and then win. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. Mag is very underrated and I think very good. So that's it. See ya.